reason why you're stuck is not because you think you don't know enough, it's just because you don't know how to apply the knowledge that you currently have into what you want to do. And that's the truth. Essentially, why do you think that you need to know everything? Why do you think that you need to have all the pieces put together? And the truth is that you're afraid to make mistakes, you're afraid to be embarrassed, you're afraid to seem like you've fallen off of your words. But all those failures, all those attempts that you made that didn't actually go the way that you wanted it to go, it's just a part of the process for you to then get up and get better.
115 days, 2,760 hours later, I'm now back. It has been a long time since I've picked up the camera. However, in that time, I've learned a lot about building a personal brand, my personal brand specifically, and how what I'm about to tell you in this video can also help you build your personal brand. Now, before anyone says anything as to why I'm sweating so hard, it's because it's 33 degrees in the United Kingdom. I'm talking the weather is hotter than the Caribbean right now. It's ridiculous. The first thing I'm going to talk about just building your personal brand is that you need to build a brand that matches your identity. Now, the majority of the times, this tends to fly over people's heads because they decide to build a brand that they think is reputable, they think that is them, they think that, acting a certain way or putting themselves together in a certain format is going to get them where they want to be in the long run, in somewhat feel sustainable. The fan is off. The fan is off just so that you guys can hear me. There's 3 pillars of when you're trying to build a personal brand. And what those 3 pillars are is that you want to build a brand and serve an audience that's going to know, like, and trust you. An audience that's going to know you, that's going to know what you like, what are your interests. See that you're relatable, they understand you, you understand them, most importantly as well, and also trust you. Because at the end of the day, you're not trying to build a personal brand just to have a personal brand for the sake of having a personal brand, but you want to use your personal brand in your favor as leverage to also grow your business, allow you to make some money, allow you to be pretty much bulletproof as we step forward into the new age of technology. As we've got AI coming about, you hear those comments saying, oh, AI is going to take over people's jobs, AI is going to do this, AI is going to do that. What AI can't do is essentially take away your personal brand. They can't take away it's not going to take away your identity, can't replace you essentially. And the biggest leverage that you can have of building a personal brand is that pretty much whatever line of business you decide to go down, you're always going to have the higher seat. You're going to be able to speak and negotiate deals simply because of the support bases. The brand that you've built, the identity that you have built doesn't just scream business, but it screams a connection, it screams understanding, and it also screams a form of support for those who are struggling from a position of where you once may have been. Now that you're starting to build your personal brand, the first thing that you're going to need to do is essentially understand your format of content. Now, from what I've seen and what I've understood and what I've actually learned with recording content and your structure, is that people like documented content, where you're not just sitting down recording a video and talking to the camera directly. They like to see action, they like to see things happening at the same time. You could be talking about this is what to say in certain meetings, and then you've got a layover, an overlay of a clip of you in a meeting, or you talking to somebody, whatever the conversation may be about, or you could be talking about sports, or you could be talking about whatever it may be. Having those overlaid clips, those documented, those type of structured pieces of content, that's what actually gravitates more people towards you. It makes people see that, okay, cool, he's not just talking, but he's also acting on what he is saying. He is actually living proof. He is doing what he's preaching, essentially, or she. Or you could decide that your form of content is sitting down talking, just looking directly at the camera, having a full-on script, or just a normal conversation. Or your form of personal branding could be lifestyle. You have to pretty much understand, okay, what's going to work for me, what's going to allow me to be my true authentic self, to build an audience, to know, like, and trust me, that I can then also provide them with something for them to buy, and it's going to be sustainable. Another gem for you of when you're building your personal brand is that you need to have a signature. There needs to be something that people can see, and within a split second they know that it's your piece of content. They know that it is you behind it. And what I mean by signature is, in your videos, do you have a certain color code? Do you have a certain outfit? Do you have a watch or a certain slogan? For example, at the end of Iman Ghazi's videos, he says,
and as always, I'm watching from afar and I'm rooting for you.
I'm watching from afar, but I'm rooting for you. That's his signature. Same thing with Afnan Khalifa. Her form of personal branding and how she creates her content, pretty much what she blew up on was making podcast-like content where she was sitting down, looking away from the camera, acting as if she's talking to somebody, and people understood, okay, cool, if I see this without even processing, they know that this is Afnan Khalifa. And then you see a lot of people doing the same thing. It works because you know, people think that they're seeing a segment of a podcast, but they're really not. That's just what's grabbing them. That's just what works for them or works for her. Understanding your signature move, understanding what's going to make you different about your piece of content. It could just generally be in the way. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can be down to the simplest things, just down to how you structure or edit your piece of content. Is there something that is unique about you? Because remember, this is a personal brand. It's not a brand alone. It's a personal brand. How does this all relate back to you, essentially? It could be down to the type of font that you use on the screen. There's different forms of signatures that you can use within your personal brand as you're creating content for your personal brand to give you that aspect of, okay, cool, whenever I see this, I know it's going to be this person, you know. And once they see that consistency, they begin to like you, they begin to trust you, then they begin to decide they want to invest in you, buy your courses, buy your programs, invest in your services, whatever it may be. Once people see there's consistency across your pages, across your content, that's when they will decide, okay, cool, this is a reputable somebody, this is someone that I can trust with giving my money, essentially. And the final thing, just to pretty much wrap it up, is you don't have to overcomplicate your personal brand. A lot of people have all of these pyramid schemes, all of the several bullet points that need to be ticked off in every single aspect, that every single thing needs to be calculated. Essentially, your personal brand just needs to be a free-flowing business. Definitely have structure. It shouldn't feel as if it's a burden for you, because at the end of the day, you want to know that you can pick up a camera, and because you've built that authority within your content, it doesn't matter to an extent of the type of content that you post. Once you get to that point that people are going to not interact with you, they are going to interact with you. They are going to support you. As long as you align with your values and your morals and what you've been showing your audience, it doesn't have to be complicated. It becomes easier as you go on. So pretty much those are some things that I've learned of building a personal brand. You have to learn to build an audience that knows, likes and trusts you. You need to understand your signature, and also don't complicate it, because once you've got all of those things tapped in, the best opportunity for you is to then go on to sell digital products to your audience that's actually going to benefit them, benefit you, allow them to pretty much replicate exactly what you do to an extent. Build yourself a community, build yourself an audience, build yourself a reputable business, and you no longer will have to search for the next dollar, pound, rupee, whatever it may be, currency. Again, you'll be set. So I'm sweating, but I'll be back with some more content soon, and that's alright.